Hey guys, I have a super exciting announcement for you. We are moving and I'm going to share all of the details with you later in today's video. I'm also sharing a 4-ingredient family-friendly recipe and low-carb nacho recipe, as well as a lot of real-life cleaning motivation. Good morning, guys. So I am ready. I hope you're ready as well. I have my work cut out for me today. I just got back from a bachelorette party and I'm feeling a little tired, but feeling pretty motivated to get some things done, get laundry started. There's so much here. I have to unpack, do laundry, get the house kind of back in order. I want to get back into the swing of things. Got my under eye mask because feeling a little tired, a little puffy. So I got those on, drinking my athletic greens. Got my coffee over there, so I feel like I'm ready to go. I did not want to put on any makeup. Don't need to look fancy to clean. Just get started. Hey guys, how are you doing? Whatever day it is, whatever time of day you're seeing this, I hope you're having a good day. If you're new here, I'm Jamie and I am so glad that you're here. It means the world to me that you're taking time out of your busy day and that you're spending a little bit of that time with me. Every week here on my channel, you're going to find a wonderful supporting community. I have the best community here, as well as a lot of real life cleaning motivation, organizing, decluttering. I'm not perfect. That's for sure. I don't always clean up at the end of the night, but all I can do is try my best. And I hope I can create a space here on the internet where you feel like you belong. So thank you for being here. I'm going to be cleaning over 2 days. I'm also going to be sharing some real life cleaning moments with you. And then at the end of today's video, after you get your cleaning motivation, I'm going to be sharing with you an exciting announcement. But anyways, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing a super long awaited announcement. We are moving and I am giving you all of the details. Like I said, that'll be towards the end of the video. And I just please ask that you watch the entire announcement. So maybe like put me on your phone, TV while you're cooking or doing something else and just let it play because it's kind of long. It's a long story and I think it's really important that you hear how we got to our house. And I want to share all of this and there's some things that I really want you guys to hear. So that'll be later on. So how do I get stuff done when the twins are around and not sleeping or Mike's not around to hang out with them? I put on some music that they love. Sometimes I'll do like little activities, but I try not to do too much when they're around and up because it's almost like I'm setting myself up for failure. But sometimes I'll do like little activities, but activities don't keep them entertained for very long. This day I didn't have a ton of things that I needed to do, so I just played some music and they like dancing and running around, and that's kind of how I was able to get a few things done with them awake. So this was something I've not done in a long time. I needed to wipe down my backsplash, and I was just using some Dawn Power Wash, and I'll either use that or just regular Dawn dish soap. And it was just crazy how dirty and dusty it was. You'll see it in the rag when I show you here when I'm done, and then the water was dusty and dirty. So I'm like, okay, mental note, Jamie, you need to do this more often. But after I'm done here cleaning the backsplash, I was going to hop into our half bath that's around the corner from the kitchen, give this bathroom a really good clean. And I wanted to clean the whole bathroom, and I was going to use my Bissell Steam Shot hand steamer in here just because it does a really good job of getting into all of the cracks and crevices of the toilet. So you're going to see me use that. But at the end, but again, I'll be sharing our house news here at the end after you get your cleaning motivation. And I'm just finally happy to be able to share that, because this whole time I really did not want to string you along. So I try not to say anything because I just don't like when people are like, I have exciting news, but I can't share. So I was kind of waiting until I could share it. I never wanted to string you guys along, but then I would also get a lot of questions about it. So I'm just finally happy that I can share all of this. And Mike will be sitting down with me when we make the announcement. And it's kind of fun for me because, he's not super comfortable in front of the camera, but he really wanted to sit down and, share the exciting news. So he'll be sharing the exciting news with me. And I'm also going to be sharing with you guys 2 recipes. So one is super easy, super, super simple and easy, 4 ingredients. That my kids liked. So everyone liked it, which was a win. And then I'll share with you what I had for lunch, some low carb nachos. I don't necessarily eat low carb, but I do have PCOS. So sometimes I try to go more lower carb if I overindulge on the carbs. And all weekend long I was eating out. So I was just trying to be conscious of what I was eating. So I also will share that with you as well. So if you're wanting to know what products I was using the Jaws granite cleaner to clean the bathroom vanity, and then I was using the Jaws glass cleaner to clean the mirror, and then I was also using that on the window. I did use the Mrs. Meyer's multi-surface spray to clean the blinds, and then my Tinco Power Hero 11 cordless vacuum to quickly vacuum in here before I busted out the Steam Shot. And I do have the Bissell Steam Shot that I'm using here linked in the description. But I will tell you, this is a different model. I don't think they make this model anymore. So the one I've linked looks different. It's a different color, but it's the same thing. It has the same attachments. So that's in the description. And the description is hard to find now. There's a little drop down arrow that you have to hit, and then you have to hit read more. So they've made it very difficult to find the full description, but I promise you it's there.
these complications. You withdraw and leave me to be. When there's a problem, you become like a wall. And every time I trip, it's a free fall.
I recently was asked about potty training, and I'd say it's going okay. It's not going bad. They're just kind of slow to potty training, I guess. It's kind of fun because Avery is like their biggest cheerleader. She loves cheering them on, she likes to get excited with them when they go. And I think something that I thought was kind of interesting was I thought like if one would go, the other one would want to go. Or if one got the hang of it, the other would want to. And that's not really the case. Like if like Addison goes, Emery is like, no, has no desire to go, or, can flip-flop. Like one is not ahead of the other as far as potty training. They each take their times or days when they're more interested than not. But Avery is their biggest cheerleader. Like I think like if Addison goes, Emery's like, whatever, she doesn't care. But Avery is their biggest cheerleader. So it's kind of fun that she's such a great big sister. And she's trying to help us out with the potty training. But we'll see. I'm not stressing about it, not worried. We'll see how it goes. Avery had gotten some window markers for Christmas. And I think I left this up here for like a week or so, and it was finally to erase her beautiful artwork, and I'm sure she'll do it again this weekend or something. But it was kind of funny because I went outside to clean the outside of the door, and the cleaner froze on the door because it was so cold outside. And speaking of it being cold outside, so if you guys don't know, I live in Northwest Ohio, so it's pretty cold here. We went down south, New Orleans, for the bachelorette party. And the day we got there, I think it was like 70 degrees and sunny, and it was beautiful. And I don't know if this sounds crazy, but there was like a different smell. Like if you don't have changing seasons, maybe you have no idea what I'm talking about. But when spring rolls around here, or even summer, like the air smells different. And so when we landed, we walked out of the airport, it smelled different. So it was really nice. The day we left, it was like high 40s, and it was cold for us just because we didn't pack like that the cold weather gear, I guess, even though 40 is not like terribly cold, but we just didn't really have anything. But it was funny because the people down there were like, yeah, this is like miserable for us. And I'm like, we're going back to probably 20 to 30 degrees, even colder from what they were experiencing there. But either way, it was nice to experience the nice weather for a little bit of time. So I use my Shark Apex Uplight corded vacuum on our carpet in our living room. I just wanted like a really good vacuum. And then I was going to use the Tinco Power Hero 11 vacuum in the kitchen, and I did that. I was just going to use the Shark all over. I don't love the Shark for the hardwood flooring, but it does a really good job. But it's a much louder on hardwood flooring versus the cordless Tinco vacuum. And with the twin snapping, I did not want to take a chance. We have a sound machine on in the room, but you can still hear the vibration on the hardwood flooring and all of that. So I was like, I'm not even going to even touch that because I did not want the twins to wake up at all. So I just switched vacuums and used the Tinco on our hardwood. And I was going to use my Cedar spin mop to mop my floors. I kind of go back and forth between that and the Tinco floor too. But today I was feeling the Cedar spin mop, and I was going to pour in 1 teaspoon of powdered Tide laundry detergent. Just 1 teaspoon. Make sure it's not a tablespoon. It's a little amount, but it does a good job.
Someone said that you're coming by. Let me know when you're here. Meet me up for a smoke outside. I regret what I said, didn't mean it. Yeah, believe me, I guess I take it back. There's a party downtown. Someone said that you're coming by. I know that summer was a big mistake. I just hope that we're still okay. You always pick me up and let me down. We're spinning around, losing our minds. Damned if we do, damned if we don't, damned if we give in what we want. And I always pick you up and let you down. We're spinning around, losing our minds.
So when I was mopping, Avery had gotten back from school, went straight to the bathroom, and this is what I came in to find. And I was like, this is life with kids. This is how you know you have kids, when you see this type of stuff. So anyways, this was a little bit before dinner time, and I was making a taco skillet. It's super easy, 4 ingredients. You just have, well, I had ground chicken. You can use ground beef, ground turkey. But I had some ground chicken that I had made up in bulk that I added taco seasoning to. I typically do that. I'll cook up a bunch of taco meat or taco chicken and have it in the freezer ready to go for salads, tacos, whatever. So I pulled some ground chicken that was already cooked up and seasoned with taco seasoning. And I just put it in a pan to kind of heat it up. It was already defrosted. And then I added some cheese and salsa. And you just mix it around until the cheese melts a little bit. And then you add some Fritos on top. I added avocado to mine. The kids did not want avocado on theirs. They like eating their avocado separate. So that's what we had for dinner, and everyone loved it. So that was nice. And then I'm also going to share with you what I had for lunch this particular day. It was a lower carb nacho. I got this recipe from a girl on Instagram, Fit Babe on a Budget. And so definitely don't want to take credit for this recipe at all, but these are my favorite flour tortilla shells. They're low carb and they're really, really soft. I also use them for wraps when I make lunches. But you just take them, put them in the air fryer for about 400 degrees, and you want to cook them until they're golden brown. So it might be a little bit different on each air fryer. I put them in for 6 minutes, which ended up being too long. So I would try maybe 4 and then kind of check and evaluate. But then I just added some cheese, black beans, pico de gallo, because I like pico over salsa, but you could do salsa. I did cilantro. Honestly, you could add whatever you want. But yeah, really, really good. And just another lower carb recipe. Ooh, feels so good. There's something that is so satisfying about getting all of the laundry done when you go on vacation, get it all nice and clean, because it just feels so dirty sitting in a suitcase for a couple of days, getting it all clean, all put away. Definitely makes me feel better, but I'm gonna go put it away, be done for the night. But I'll finish up a few things tomorrow, so I will see you guys tomorrow. So pretty much my goal for this day was just to finish up our bedroom. It was such a mess after I had gotten home and like unpacked a little bit. So I just wanted to kind of get this room clean and get it pulled back to normal and totally unpacked. I also wanted to wash our bedding. But when I get back from vacation, I am that person that I want to get unpacked as soon as possible. Now, most of the time I go anywhere, Mike's with me. So usually we'll get home and one of our parents has the kids and I have a minute to kind of unpack and get settled before they come home. But this time I was by myself, so Mike was at home with the kids. So the minute I got in the door, I went straight to them, so I didn't get unpacked right away. I did bring my stuff upstairs and I got a load of laundry started, but I had gotten home kind of later in the evening, like right before bedtime for the kids. And so I just wanted to spend as much time as I could with them. And then when they went to bed, I just got one load of laundry started. So the fact that this is 2 days after I had gotten home and it was still sitting here is very unlike me, but that's just how it was going. But are you the type of person when you get back from a trip, do you unpack right away or do you let it sit for a while? Because I can barely let it sit for any amount of time. Man, you have not had a sit-down video in a long time.
It's been a while. Outside of me just lifting up couches or something, I haven't really been part of it.
Right. I'm really excited, but I'm like really nervous for some reason.
Why?
I think because I'm just excited to share this news with all of you guys, but this community means so much to me. And I think that I never want you guys, and I'm not gonna cry, but I do feel like a little bit emotional because I don't want anyone to think that we aren't content with what we have.
Or that we don't appreciate it.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want people to think we don't appreciate this beautiful house. We are 100% fortunate for what we have, and we know that. And while we're able to do this because of, I guess good decisions we've made or hard work, but a lot of you guys as well make great decisions and work really hard. So I just want to be very sensitive in sharing this news with all of you guys. But there were a few things, and I'll go into this here in a minute, of why we decided to make that decision and things that have changed since we bought this house. So I just never want you guys to think that, that
we don't realize how fortunate we are. So, okay. We're moving. Yay! Okay, so I'm gonna try to not get long-winded because I tend to get a little bit long-winded. But just a little.
Okay, so I know I'm gonna get asked, why are we moving? And I know a lot of you guys already know that, but I'll just run through it really quickly. So when we moved into this house, Avery was a week old. I almost said a year old. A week old. When I was 6 months pregnant, we decided, I think he had the idea, Mr. Financial guy over here, decided, because in our old neighborhood, it was the first house we had bought, the houses around us were being sold for a lot more than what we paid for our house. And so I was like 6 months pregnant with my first kid. There is no way I wanted to pack up and move, but he's always looking at capitalizing.
Good time in the market, and just kind of threw it up on Zillow to see what would happen, if we got any interest. And less than 12 hours later, we had someone walk through and put an offer in that night. Yep.
So, and it was over asking price. We were shocked. So we're like, okay, awesome, moved. Avery was a week old, moved into this house. And at the time, and I think we've always had this feeling of, we've always been content with our first house we bought. We were like, if we have to stay in here forever, we're good with it. Unless an opportunity
presents itself, then we'll change. That opportunity presented itself. Same thing with this house. We've never had, and if you've ever asked me, is this your forever home? We've always said, we don't know. We are happy enough with this house, but if the opportunity comes up, we'll take it. So, when we bought this house, we were not planning on having 3 children. We were not planning, we had Avery, we were gonna have 1 more kid, we were gonna be done. And this house was perfect because we have 4 bedrooms and we wanted a space for like an office, and then to have 2 kids and then a bedroom for us. So, well, since we moved in here 7 years ago, we've had a 3rd child. Okay, so that kind of was in the back of our head. And then in March of 2020, he gets sent home to work from home, and he has not returned back to the office. So we don't really have we have an office space, but we're both kind of sharing it. When we got this house, I was also not doing YouTube. So I don't need like an office, but I like to have a space for my computer and my editing stuff. So we're kind of, as you guys know, sharing the office. So that was like another thing, but none of those set us over the edge because we could work with it. We could do like renovations, maybe add like a wall to like the front room area in our living room. The kicker, last summer, not summer of 2021, the end of 2020, our neighbors behind us, which are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful neighbors. We love them. But they put in an in-ground pool. And a lot of you guys have seen our backyard before. If you haven't, if you go back earlier in this video, I cleaned off some window markers off of our slider door. You can see that in-ground pool. They put it in and it was a game changer for us.
Didn't mention in this video was we cannot change our fence. A lot of people say put up a privacy fence. We are only allowed to have a split rail fence that we have. No other fences are allowed in our neighborhood because of the homeowners association.
Because our backyard is very wide and
but skinny.
But very skinny. And the people were always on top of us, but they were never outside. So it was like fine. I mean, like you still felt like you were in a fishbowl, but it was fine. So they put in this pool and they're out there all of the time, all summer long, which they should be. Like I would totally be out there all the time. They're very respectful. They're not out late. They're not screaming and yelling. But every time we go out in our backyard, like, you can hear full conversations. It's over the edge. So it was about a year ago. We started talking. We're just like, we just don't know if we can continue because we like being out in our backyard. Like we're not big travelers. Like we want to put our money into our house. We're just not the type that like we don't spend our money really anywhere else. So we are like, let's casually look. We have a friend who's a realtor, so we just like went to him. The issue with this is we are not willing to move out of our city. We love our city. And we have great schools. We are 5 minutes from Target, Kohl's, Kroger, I mean, Ulta, like any store or anything you basically need, we can find within 5 minutes. But, and also the area we're in our city, we're on the outskirts. So we are 5 to 10 minutes away from all of that shopping. But if you go outside of our neighborhood, it is all farm fields. And so we love this area because we're in a neighborhood, so we have the benefits of the neighborhood, the kids playing, we're 5 minutes away from Target, but then at the same time, you go outside of our neighborhood and you feel like you're in the country. So we love this area. There's only a few neighborhoods in this part. This is a newer part, we're at right now, it's the newer part of the city. So housing prices are already a little bit higher than the rest of the city. And then, so anyways, we went to our realtor and we told him like our very specifics, and he's like, all right, well, you'll get the email. So every house that came up to us, you know, there were some great ones, some ones we didn't love, but I think the biggest issue with us is we're pretty strict on our budgets. Especially Mr. Financial Guy, I'll call him. He's been a financial advisor before. He's worked in a bank. And so some financial goals that we have made, we're very strict on our financial goals and planning for our future, saving for retirement and all of that. So we have a pretty strict budget and we weren't willing to veer off of that. So we're getting these houses come in and they're at the top of our budget and they're not like perfect. And I'm not saying like everything has to be perfect for us to move into a house, but at the same time, when you're paying top dollar in this market, because it is top dollar plus the top of our budget, like I don't want to have to change anything. And we are not the DIYer people, you guys know that. So we're just like, I don't want to pay top dollar and then want to change my kitchen countertops or paint the cabinets, that type of thing. So we kept running into that, but we did not want to build. That was something we did not want to do.
We've always said we would never build.
Yes.
Neither one of us are very good at making decisions. So
it would drive us crazy.
Building wasn't an ideal process or thought process.
No. So we looked for maybe like, what, 4 or 5 months, or we were getting the emails and, you know, going through a few houses and trying to find something. And the other part of this, and you guys might find this really interesting because I know I get a lot of questions about like the back end of YouTube and how all of this works. So when we applied for our mortgage, and I don't know if this is an Ohio thing or if it's a national, United States, but in Ohio, or at least with our mortgage broker, they would not take anything that I make because I have not had consistent income for the past 2 years. You have to have consistent income for 2 years for them to accept your salary. And so...
Well, 2 years ago, you were still working your office job in the beginning of the year.
Right.
So you didn't have a full 2 years.
Right. And but they wouldn't take that even into account because I wasn't there.
Right.
So like if you look at the money I've brought in over the past 2 years, it is up and down, not consistent. So they would not take anything. So when we applied for the mortgage, it was all on his salary, which is fine because we like living off of your salary anyways, because again, YouTube is so up and down. Like it's the money that I bring in is so different from month to month. And then the other thing is, I could break my ankle tomorrow. Let's hope that doesn't happen. I could break my ankle tomorrow and I don't make videos for 2 or 3 months. Or you guys could start hating me. You guys could hate me. And
don't do that either.
Yeah, you guys could hate me. Stop watching my channel and it's gone. So it actually worked out because they wouldn't take my salary. Anyway, so we're like, good. We will be only operating our mortgage will only be operating off of him. But we were looking at these houses in this area, and they fit in our budget of your salary, but it was at the top end. And we don't want to gamble. We didn't want to gamble.
We didn't love anything
right.
either. So to spend the money and not love it
right.
didn't make a lot of sense.
So in our neighborhood, we live close to a school. It's like right outside of our neighborhood. And behind that school, they're building another neighborhood. And I really liked the houses. I would run back there and I liked how they looked from the outside. But again, we did not want to build. It's not something we wanted. And I'm like, that's not something we want to get ourselves into. But, you know, after about 6 months of us not finding anything, you know, I was like, Mike, let's meet with the realtor over there and let's see what they say. And he's like, okay. Like you didn't want, like he was probably more anti-building than I was, but you were just like there's nothing out there.
Right.
So we made an appointment to meet with the realtor that represents the neighborhood. And I had no expectations. Like that morning we left, I wasn't excited. I wasn't literally felt nothing. And we sit down and it was a life-changing meeting. Because we did not want to build because you guys, if I walked into a cabinet store and had to pick out cabinets, there's no way I could do that. I couldn't.
No, we'd be there all day.
Yeah. Like it's hard enough for us to make decisions about where to go to dinner, let alone pulling everything together, could not do that. So we meet there and he tells us that with their houses, there's 3 different options. You can do a spec home where it's like, he said 95% done and maybe you get to pick out
paint colors,
yeah.
carpet colors.
Yeah, and we're like, well, we would like to pick out a little bit more than that. You could do a custom built house where you pick out literally everything and you can even alter the floor plan. And we're like, no. There was a 3rd option and it was, you cannot alter the layout. Like you pick a layout from them. You pick a layout, you cannot alter anything. You can't add feet onto a room. But they limit your choices. So for countertops, they're like, you don't go to a countertop store. You come into our office and we have about 3 options for you and you pick from those 3 options. And I was like, that sounds right up my alley. Same thing with backsplashes. Like they have one type of backsplash, subway tile, but they have different colors. So you can pick out your color, but you don't have the options of all of the different backsplashes. And I was like, that sounds perfect. I didn't know that was an option. So that sealed the deal. That was one of the things. Second one is they were able to lock us in at a price. So going into this, once we signed a contract, we were able to be locked in at a price. And we liked that because we, again, pretty strict with their budget. We don't, you know, building, you can run away, you get excited, and we wanted to be locked in. And I think because we don't get to alter like a ton, it's easier to be locked in.
It has its pros and its cons, but
right. But
after
for us,
weighing both, I mean, it was good to lock it in at the time.
Right. So then there we had that, and then also with the rising costs, and then like lumber going up and down, they were able to lock us in. So if it went up higher, it didn't matter. Like they left us in, right?
Yeah, but that, I mean, that's part of the pros and cons, because if it could go lower,
right,
and we'd be out, but it was a risk we were willing to take.
Right. So like I remember coming home, and we sat in the driveway, and I was like, I just had this anxious, giddy, nervous feeling, and I go, Mike, the last time I've had this feeling was when we walked through this house. I didn't have it, because when we walked through this house, I didn't have any expectations. Same thing with going to meet with, like, I didn't have any expectations, and we walked away, and I was like, this feels so right. And
well, I think one of the big selling points, at least for me, was the lot that we were able to get. They had just released some new lots in the area, like the day or two before we went in, and there was one that was available, and it backs up to a big pond in the neighborhood, so we were able to get some privacy, but still be in the neighborhood, which I think was huge,
right,
for both of us.
So we are building, and like he said, so the lot, there is a pond, it's a retention pond, yeah. So it's not like we're not gonna be able to swim, and I have an uncle who puts in fences for a living, so we will have a fence in right away for safety. But we're still in a neighborhood. It's not a giant lot. We don't have a lot of land or anything. When you guys see the picture I'll put up here, it looks like we have land just because it's a newer neighborhood, so there's no one behind us yet. There will be people next to us. So it looks like there's a lot of land. It's not all of our land, but we have like our lot. It's definitely bigger than what we have here. There's a pond. So even though we're in a neighborhood and we get the benefits of having kids who get to live in a fun neighborhood, we have a pond behind us, so no one will be behind us. So that, like, we saw this.
And it's a big pond too. So yeah. Once they put houses on the other side, it's still gonna be far away.
Yeah. And then next to the pond, it's like, they call it park space, but it's not like a park. It's just like grassy green area. So like, that's gonna be our backyard. So I can walk outside with no bra under my shirt and not feel like people are watching me, right? So, it just all seemed right. And so here we are. So I know you guys are gonna be like, what's the timeline? You know, are you gonna share this? I'm not gonna like transform my YouTube channel into a house building. Like that's not, I don't have any plans to really share a ton. If you guys are interested, I may show, like if I'm like doing a cleaning video, I may add something at the end or something. But I don't want to change what I already do. My channel is not about building a house, it's about cleaning. You guys will get to see the house when we move in, and there'll be plenty of cleaning that will go on in that house, I'm sure. But I don't want to, I also want to enjoy this time for us. And I don't want to, like when we go to the house, because there's an update, I don't want to feel like I got to whip my camera out or I have to whip my phone out to document it. There may be a situation, maybe like Mike and I are on a date night and we hop over there, we don't have the kids and it's easy to share. I might whip out my phone and show you guys on Instagram, but I don't want to feel like I have to share anything when I'm in the moment enjoying the time with my family. Not to mention, like if the kids are with us, like I can't worry about, I got to worry about them and not like whipping out the camera. So if you guys are interested in it, like I may show you some fun updates, but it's not gonna be something that's gonna be documented a ton on my channel. But timeline wise, so they had given us a year from
when we signed the paperwork. Yes.
So right now we are looking at probably moving in within a year. All of this just happened. Like we signed the paperwork. That's what I was waiting to share this. We signed the paperwork and then they just broke ground. So we were looking at probably not moving in for a year. We are crossing our fingers hoping that maybe it's in before like mid-November. I personally would like to be in before the crazy holiday season, because like with kids, I mean, I probably would be fine decorating for Christmas, but you can't do that with kids. You at least have to put up a tree, and I don't want to be like moving in like the week before Christmas and then feeling like we have to throw a tree up, you know, that type of thing. So like ideally, I hope everything goes well, but if any of you guys have built, then you know there's a lot of different factors that play into it, like weather. I mean, we live in cold weather. Like right now it's, I don't know, like 20 degrees. And I think they said if it's below 20 degrees, they can't really be out there.
They won't dig
in the ground. So there's a lot of like, you know, things, there could be delays. There's a lot of delays with a lot of different, but the good part is, since we're not building a custom home, the builder has multiple neighborhoods. And so a lot of it, they like kind of like, they like
pull from other lots to speed up some processes. So.
Right. I mean, nothing is like super specialized either. So I think a lot of times they just buy the stuff, like not in bulk, because they're putting up, you know, a good amount of houses. So we are hoping to be in by November, but it could be a year from now, which we are a-okay with. We're in no rush. We're happy with where we are. The new house will have 4 bedrooms, so all of the girls will have their own room. You know, with the twins, I expect them to share for a long time, but I want to give them an option to have their own room. If you guys are twin moms, let me know, because I just know they're gonna need their own spaces. They share enough as it is. I want them to have the ability to have their own room. So until they split up, which I don't think is gonna be for a while, we'll have an extra room that we can make into an office for one of us, because we already have an office, like downstairs, like when you walk in the front door, there'll be an office, or you know, so one of us can be upstairs in the extra room, or we can make that a toy room, because with our basement, you know, that was our thing with all of this is like I said, we're not big travelers. We're kind of homebodies, I'd say. We love like sitting outside by a fire in the summertime. So we're gonna have, you know, our nice backyard, and then in the basement, like in the winter. You know, here in Ohio, we spend so much of our time inside from about like, I'd say late September until probably May. And so we wanna like have a really nice basement where we want a workout room, because we both are big into working out. We want a workout, not room, but like an area where we can put our workout stuff. And then we're big, you know, football fans, you know, college football on Saturdays, NFL on Sundays. So we'd like to have maybe like a bar for, you know, even like a countertop to where the kids could eat down there. Like we're hanging out, like have lunch down there. Or if we're sitting there watching a game at night, you know, like we can have our own little space to like have friends over and things like that. So like that's where we want to put our money, is into the basement in the backyard, because that's where we spend a lot of our time. So I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else major. If you guys have questions, definitely leave them in the comment section, and I'll try to answer those like in upcoming videos. But unless you have anything else to say.
No, I don't think so. I think we're both excited for the process and anxious to kind of really get started.
Mm-hmm. I want to thank you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you from both of us very, very much.
Because while, you know, you guys, this community is just so uplifting and means the world to me, but then at the same time, you know, I told you that we're pretty strict with our budget and saving, and or you are, I guess. I mean, I am too, but like you're the one who does all that. But I think because he worked at a bank and he saw so many people who hadn't saved for retirement and all of that. And I think maybe that's just your financial planner mind, that when I make money on YouTube, you know, even up and down as it is, we just dump all of that into savings, retirement, and funds for our children. And if it wasn't for that, you guys supporting when I do sponsored content, then that would all be pulled from his salary.
Right.
And so we're able to like just focus on living off of your salary and using that money that I get from YouTube, you know, to put in for our future, like savings and all of that, and for our kids. So, you know, thank you for being here, for supporting us. I through all of the ups and downs, and I just can't say thank you enough.
I agree with everything that she says.
So I know he's not a man of a lot of words.
No, thank you very much.
He's not, but he does. He's a quiet, silent type. Just kind of always behind the scenes, moving furniture,
holding cameras,
watching the kids,
putting the kids,
putting stuff away. He he always gets mad because like I'll be outside like using the power washer or something outside, and then I just like drop it and leave. And he's like, you start it, you know, you do the cleaning and then you just leave everything, like you just leave everything there. And who picks up my messes? He does.
Very true.
So he's a huge part of all of this as well. But I don't know. So that's our exciting news. We're moving, we're building, and there is going to be a lot of exciting times to come. Like I said, let me know if like how much you guys want to see. I'll try to share when I can, but again, I don't want to promise anything because what's more important to me is being in the moment, enjoying that. So I just don't know what I'll be able to share in the future, but I'll share as much as I can. So anyways, can't wait.